Before we continue with the agenda, I just wanted to take a minute and encourage each of you, if you have not had the opportunity to go out into the Potomac Atrium, we have on display the monument quilt. That quilt is made up of squares that have been created by either survivors of domestic violence or in memory of the victims of domestic violence. So we really would like for you to make sure you take an opportunity to see that. And looking at it from the atrium floor is powerful, but if you actually take the elevator up to the 4th and look out over, it is it's quite amazing. So please, I encourage each of you to do that before you leave today. Also, it was mentioned earlier today, we do have the first major retrospective of Kay Walking Stick in the building. It is wonderful, beautiful, powerful, moving. Please take an opportunity to see that as well while you're here. And of course, the treaties exhibit that is upstairs on the 4th floor. Please try to take a moment or two to go through that exhibit as well. I want to introduce to you Deborah Parker. Debra is from the Tulalip Tribes, and she is a former Vice-Chairwoman. And she has taken on a lot of responsibility and has been very effective in giving a face and giving a voice and sharing a story that has enabled our political leaders to actually listen and hear what's happening in our communities in regard to domestic violence. So I'd like to introduce to you Deborah Parker.
Haslahel, good afternoon. Tsicyaltsa, sitsta. I was introduced my grandmother's name that I carry. It goes 7 generations back on my Snohomish side. I'm an enrolled member of the Tulalip Tribes, so I flew all the way from Washington State to Washington, D.C. May have slept a little, may have not. So it's an honor to be here, and I just really want to thank Brenda Pipeston and all of you here today for being here, for providing a forum for us. I want to thank the National Museum of American Indians. I just really want to honor the work that's been done here today because it's very needed. And I also really want to thank the superstar heroes, the ladies who spoke before me. So let's give them another round of applause. It is just always so encouraging to hear words of the triumphs and the struggles of our Indigenous women. And for me, you know, I guess in my speeches a lot I say as a young woman, but I'm now, someone says, one of our elders, and introduced me, and I thought, I feel like I went from here to walk in the halls of Congress and sharing our story with those who are in leadership here in Washington, D.C. And it is so important that we do share our stories. And it's very important that we have our women here to share the stories. And that's something that has been missing in the halls of Congress. So I really want to thank our Indigenous, our Native women, Alaska Native women, who walk the halls of Congress and knock on the doors and share their messages, share all of our messages, and specifically for those who are working on the issue of domestic violence. And that issue for me has been very near and dear to my heart since I was a young girl. And you know, it's been amazing to spend the last couple days talking to some of our female leaders here about what brought us here, what brought us to the nation's capital, and why we stand here, and why we work late hours, and why we wake up early and continue to share the same stories, and why we're passionate about what we do. And it's not about ourselves. It's about each and every woman who doesn't have a voice. It's about our sisters. It's about our grandmothers. It is about our neighbors and each and every person who doesn't have a voice. And, you know, for me, flying here from Seattle Airport to DC here, I get that time to reflect upon what an honor it is to come here and to speak. What an honor it is to represent my nation. And I don't take that lightly, and I know people who work here don't take it lightly either. So, you know, when we wake up each morning, we pray that this day will bring us closer to the vision and to the goals and closer to our cultural identity, a strong cultural identity. And so, for me, as I speak in the way that my ancestors have taught me to, and that's you speak from your heart. So to me, I picture any forum as our longhouse. And one of our elders, his name is tsicyaltsa, he always said, just speak plainly, speak simple so that our elders can hear your words. And when I graduated from University of Washington, I was so excited, and I was young, and I was speaking fast, and I wanted, you know, I wanted everyone to hear what I had to say because, you know, I was so excited to learn and to grow and to, you know, change the world. And I'm so grateful that an elder slowed me down and said, remember, as one of our panelists said, remember where you come from. Remember who you are. Remember the struggles that we've been through and the hopes and dreams that you have today. And so I come here today with those remembrances. I come here today with the love of my nation, the love of our people. And I think that's the real core of my message is whatever we do, I hope and pray it's with the love that we have in our hearts. Because I don't think things are going to change unless it comes from that core place. When we changed the Violence Against Women Act in 2013, that was the core of why things changed. When a senator told me, over my dead body, will you ever prosecute a non-Indian on your reservation? I had to look at the senator and said, okay. And so we take on those threats, we hear those words, and yet we continue forward because it's with that faith and with that love that I'm here to protect our women. And I know there's so many of us here who are here to protect our nations, our children, and here to share our stories about future generations. And so I know when we change the law, it's usually based on heartfelt words. It's usually based on connecting with that senator, with that congresswoman, with that lobbyist sometimes, to share what it means to be Indigenous, for me, what it means to be a Squamish woman. And that's not something I learned in college, it's something that I learned in our longhouse. It's something I learned from my mother. It's something I learned from my grandmother. And it's so beautiful to come here and listen to the stories of our Indigenous leaders, those women who have listened to the stories, who come here to share that it's okay to be yourself, it's okay to be authentic, it's okay to speak your language, it's okay to be reminded that we come from strong, powerful Indigenous people, and to stand tall and to stand bright in that light. Because for far too long, we've been told to not say anything. We've been marginalized. We've been mistreated. And so for me, I believe for our young ladies, we need to teach them that you can find that strength from within. Maybe you need to go to the mountains or to the water to find that strength. But you have to believe that you're worth something. And I honestly believe that being Indigenous to these lands, we're more than worth something. We're some of the most incredible, beautiful people on this earth. And I believe the United States government needs to recognize that. And you know, it's not going to happen unless we're here, unless we're speaking and writing and acting on stage. Thank you, Mary Catherine, for reminding us. Unless we're telling our own story, and not in shame and guilt, but with the most pride that we have, with the loudest voices that we have. And I'm reminded by Chief Dan George, sometimes it's done in silence. Our prayers really do matter. I believe without those prayers, I don't know that I would have had the courage to stand up in Congress. I would have not stood by people like Senator Murray, Senator Klobuchar, Senator Boxer, to share my story of abuse. And somehow I know that this room is filled with our spiritual ancestors to help to guide us. So when you feel like you're alone, you're not. You're really not. And I thank our playwright and our artist, our poet, I don't know if she's here still. Joy, oh, there you, okay, I see you. Thank you for talking about the Spirit, for connecting, for quieting your mind so that you can hear what that Spirit has to say. Because that's a very powerful place. And it's taken me a long time to get there. And I'm still working on that. I'm a recovering vice-chairwoman of my tribe. So I understand the heartaches. I understand the pain of burying our own people, of burying our children. And I understand going home and being heartbroken and not having the words to express how I'm feeling or how we are feeling. It just feels so hurtful sometimes. But in that hurt and in that pain and sometimes in that deep depression, it's so important to remember the core of who we are, the core of being an Indigenous person. Because right there in that core is the strongest place that I know. And that's a place of earth. That's a place of connectedness. That's a place of spirit. And in that place, we are not alone. And we can never be alone in that place because we are built here. This is our earth. This is our ground. These are our waters. And when I say our waters, I mean all of ours. We are all interconnected as human people. And for far too long, Indigenous people have been told that we're not connected. And to me, that makes no sense at all. And I'm not referring to Trump. I had to throw that in there. I'm not referring to those people who don't quite understand, or actually maybe I am. What I'm referring to is that belief of not being good enough, of not needing to be seen because we are a certain percentage in the United States or in North America. And this is the core root of who we are. And when you believe that we're not important or we're unseen, what happens at that point? We start to see our women murdered, our women go missing, and no one cares. But I'm here to say today that I care. And I know there's thousands others who care. I know the children of the mothers that are missing, they care. And I just ask each and every one of you to please continue to show that strength. Please continue to talk about some of these tough issues. Where are our women? With violence occurring, murder rate occurring in the United States 10 times that of the national average, 10 times. That is in no way okay for our women to be treated that way. So I ask you today to really have those powerful conversations with each other, whether it's at lunchtime, whether it's in the halls. Please talk about the importance of protecting our women, keeping our women safe. They are our treasures. They are, to me, the most beautiful people on earth because they're my grandmothers. They're my daughter. My daughter's Halia. She's 17 years old. Sorry. I think about if that was my daughter missing, what would I do? And I marched with the missing and murdered women in Vancouver, BC, as many times as I can. And I marched with the children and with the mothers. And I'm heartbroken. Because for me, I get nervous if I don't know where my daughter is during the daytime. Because in this society, it is dangerous. And I always text her, "Where are you at?" And she's, "Mom." And I just want her to be safe. I want her to be respected. I want her to be treated in the traditional way that we've always been taught. So women are sacred. They are our medicine keepers. They are our song keepers. Our women are sacred. And that's the place I come from as a mother. And so my heart goes out to the women who are out there who are missing, the women who are murdered. They are looking for justice. And my hopes and my prayers are that we provide them justice, that we don't make excuses of why we're not providing these women justice. And for you writers, for those writers, please, let's keep telling these stories. Let's get to know these women who are missing. And there's also our young boys missing. So this goes across the spectrum. But in no way is it okay. And it's from that place of compassion, it's in that place of love that I ask you to help me continue this fight. And it's a difficult story to tell. But as soon as we open the doors, as soon as we ask our spiritual helpers to guide us and to help us, we will see that change. We will continue to protect our women, our young girls, our young boys. And in that space, we will flourish. In that space, we will become stronger nations once again. So I thank you. And I know there's questions, and it feels like I could, sometimes I get nervous speaking about this issue, but I'm also excited and very passionate at the same time. It's a very hard issue, but it's an issue that we must not remain silent. So I thank you for this time. I thank you all for your work and for the compassion that you bring with your work. I know there's so many in this room who both live and work in DC and maybe other places. So I thank you. I thank you for carrying that good spirit with you. Hasiam, Tikwitsi.
Deborah, thank you for giving voice to the women who can't be here with us today and who don't have the opportunity to speak for themselves. And we thank you for your work. We know that it is heartfelt, and we know that it is difficult and challenging, but we thank you so much. Thank you.